They both wanted each other, deeply, intensely, and in a way that made the world feel quieter when they were together. There was something magnetic about their connection, something that didn't need words to be understood. IT was in the way. Their eyes lingered a second too long, in the comfort of silence when they sat side by side, and in a heaviness of unspoken feelings. But wanting someone isn't always enough when timing, healing, and readiness aren't on your side. He was emotionally unavailable, not because he didn't care, but because he didn't know how to let himself be fully seen. Vulnerability scared him. Somewhere in his past, he had learned to shut his emotions down to survive, to carry everything on his own without letting anyone in. He built walls, high and thick, convinced that if he let someone close, he would lose himself. And then there was her, someone who felt everything, often too deeply. She was an overthinker, constantly caught between what she felt and what she feared. Her mind ran endless loops of doubt and worry, trying to protect her heart by anticipating every possible outcome, every shift in tone, every pause in conversation. They loved in different ways, he from a distance, cautious and reserved, and she with intensity, needing reassurance and emotional closeness. He didn't know how to be open, and she didn't know how to feel secure without it. Misunderstandings piled up. She took his silence personally, thinking it meant indifference. He mistook her need for clarity as pressure and withdrew further. The connection was real, but so were the barriers they each brought into it, and so, it ended, not with a dramatic fight or a single moment of failure, but with a quiet fading, a slow realization that love, as strong as it was, couldn't thrive without emotional safety and understanding. They didn't walk away because they didn't care. They walked away because sometimes, caring isn't enough when you haven't yet learned how to love in a way that lasts. Slowly accepting the fact that no matter how deep the bond is, no matter how happy those memories, the day will come, and it ends up taking our different paths and moving in. One of the most liberating truths you'll ever come to is this: you didn't fall in love with someone who could truly love you back. You loved people who were drawn to your light because they were lost in their own darkness. They were pulled in by your calm, your compassion, your steady presence. By how deeply you listened, how much you gave, how safe they felt in your energy, but not because they were ready to match it, not because they were capable of meeting you with the same clarity, care, or depth. And that's not your failure, it's just the truth. You didn't fall for them because you were blind. You fell because your soul recognized a need, because you carry a heart that's wired to nurture, to see the hurting parts in others and try to love them whole. But here's the thing, love doesn't fix what someone refuses to face, and your light can't heal someone who keeps choosing their shadow. When you finally see that clearly, it's like a breath you didn't know you were holding. You stop asking what more you could have done, you stop shrinking, twisting, or waiting to be enough, because the truth is, you were never the problem. You were just loving from a heart that didn't know it deserved to be loved back in full, and not halfway. Not conditionally. Not when it's convenient, in full. And the real healing, it begins when you forgive yourself, not for loving, but for staying too long in places your soul had already outgrown. It begins when you realize that choosing someone who can meet you in your fullness is asking for too much. It's honoring yourself. You didn't love wrong, you just loved before they were ready, and now, you're ready to love in return, beginning with you.